You guys remember DiRT, right? Made by Codemasters, the same guys who made the game that I never shut the fuck up about. Well, you probably do, but if you're not a big fan of racing games, you probably don't remember them making a DiRT 4 or even 5. And that's because the latest games in the mainline DiRT series just haven't been that great. So today I'm setting out to go and look back through every mainline DiRT game, including this one, and see basically what happened to DiRT. Now, before we can figure out what happened to DiRT, we have to go back to when it started, or rather, who it started with. Colin Mcrae was a famous Scottish rally driver known for his flat-out balls-to-the-walls driving style, putting it all on the line to be the fastest, which more often than not, especially in his early days, resulted in less than desirable consequences. But this is what made Mcrae and a lot of other rally drivers of that time very popular. Their tendencies to go flat-out, sliding sideways through dense trees and debris on roads just barely wide enough for one car attracted not only the awe of onlookers, but also the attention of game developers. In 1998, Codemasters released their own rally racing game using Colin Mcrae's likeness. This game would be followed up by multiple sequels until 2007, when Codemasters decided to shake up the franchise a little and give it a new coat of paint. Unfortunately, the release of Colin Mcrae's DiRT would be shortly followed up by tragedy. On September 15, 2007, one day after the DiRT was released to European markets, Colin Mcrae would unfortunately lose his life in a helicopter crash. This shocked the rally and motorsports world, as Mcrae was known as one of the greatest rally drivers of all time, and after discussions with the Mcrae family, Codemasters would withdraw Colin Mcrae's name from further produced copies of DiRT and would only be used for a short time on DiRT 2. DiRT began a new era for Codemasters in which a major focus would be put on developing quality racing games for the console and PC market. In 2008, Codemasters would release Race Driver Grid, an arcade racing game that borrowed many aspects from DiRT, including its improved graphics engine. Also in 2008, it was announced that Codemasters had won the rights to the Formula 1 license from Sony, in which they would continue to develop titles under to this very day. Needless to say, DiRT did a lot for Codemasters, and so did being awarded the role of Commanders of the Order of the British Empire to their founders in 2008 for their services to the video game industry. This is a real thing that actually happened. Anyways, let's talk about DiRT. Colin Mcrae DiRT is interesting. Coming off the success of the Colin Mcrae Rally franchise, Codemasters wanted to change up the formula a bit, focusing on DiRT racing disciplines in general instead of traditional rally disciplines, which are still present in the form of traditional stage rally and rallycross, but are also joined by disciplines like hill climb, rally raid, trophy trucks, buggies, and fucking big rigs. DiRT's handling model is reminiscent of a time in racing games where sim racing was basically non-existent, and most games had a more arcadey driving style, including DiRT. To be honest, when I set out to make this video, I actually played DiRT 2 first, and then played DiRT 1, which was a horrible mistake. Because if you think DiRT 1 will be anything like DiRT 2, you are so fucking wrong. No shit, I actually hated DiRT at first because I thought it was too arcadey, but then something clicked. I don't know what caused it or what I did, but all of a sudden I just realized that if I go in with the expectations that it's supposed to be super arcadey, then the game just becomes way more fun. It's kind of hard to describe what the handling model is like if you haven't played it, but if I had to, it basically feels like the cars are both floating and glued to the road at the same time, constantly giving you that feeling of being just barely on the edge of control. Now also, because it's an arcadey style racer, the cars have the brakes of Formula 1 cars and can turn and slide at unrealistic speeds. But it's still fun if you treat it like an arcade game, and if you treat it like DiRT 2, you're gonna hate it. All in all, DiRT 1 was a great benchmark for the series that would help build up the foundations for the coming entries.
This is DiRT 2.
This fucking game. In my humble opinion, DiRT 2 is the best in the franchise. Maybe it's the fact that I'm just a sucker for vibrant and colorful yet gritty street-like atmospheres, or that the game's handling model is amazing, or that the car selection is perfect, or the soundtrack. It's probably just nostalgia. Yeah, I grew up with this game, so I've definitely got a bias for it, but still, this game is nothing short of amazing. Let's start with one thing that most people probably notice at first. This game looks fucking amazing. Seriously, for being released back in 2009, this game looks incredible. Like, this footage from my capture card seriously does not do it justice. There are moments where I was playing and I was genuinely amazed at how beautiful this game is. To go along with the absolutely incredible graphics, Dirt 2 has an amazing soundtrack that fits the game's atmosphere perfectly. And one thing you'll pick up on pretty quickly with Dirt 2 is its atmosphere. That sort of vibrant festival feel that's found in other racing games like Forza Horizon and Need for Speed Pro Street. All the menus are unique, detailed, and full of life and energy. This sort of atmosphere will be a reoccurring theme in the Dirt franchise with Dirt Showdown and Dirt 5, but neither of those games can stack up to Dirt 2. Like Dirt 1, Dirt 2 branches out from traditional stage rally, carrying over some of the modes from Dirt 1 and introducing some new, including the fan favorite Trailblazer, which really should have made a comeback in Dirt 5, but I'll save that for later. Dirt 2 features a revamped handling model, which is just infinitely better than Dirt 1 and this fucking piece of shit, but in my opinion, still second to Dirt 3. The career mode literally never gets boring. I found myself getting way too much footage for this game because I just could not put it down. Unlike Dirt 5, where I wanted to kill myself after just merely an hour because that game's monotony. Dirt 2 basically built upon the foundation laid by Dirt 1, creating a beautiful masterpiece that I cannot recommend enough that you go play. Except you can't. This is a common thing with older racing games, as publishers are too fucking lazy or unable to negotiate with car manufacturers and music labels to get the licenses back to use in their respective properties. Unfortunately, this results in games being pulled from online stores, leaving the consumer with two options: trying to find a used copy or piracy. Listen, I don't really like piracy, but I also don't like publishers leaving the consumer with no option, as trying to find a used copy of a niche or rare game can be exceedingly hard. I mean, as of writing this part of the script, I have yet to find a physical or digital copy of Dirt Showdown because of how rare that game is. Fortunately, one game I did manage to get my paws on was the follow-up to Dirt 2. Dirt 3 strayed away for the vibrant festival atmosphere of Dirt 2, focusing more on the racing. The handling model is an upgrade from Dirt 2, but still feels very similar. And once again, a recurring theme with Codemasters for being released in 2011, this game looks incredible. Everything about it, the lighting, the car models, the tracks, the landscapes, they all look stunning. Dirt 3 carries over almost every mode from Dirt 2, including the absolutely goated Trailblazer, along with the brand new Gymkhana, inspired by the video series of the same name by American Rally driver Ken Block, who basically became the new face of Dirt. I think it's fair to say Dirt 2 and Dirt 3 are both contenders for best game in the franchise, and the ratings would agree, but I feel it comes down to personal preference. Dirt 2 is full of life, color, and dude bro atmosphere, while Dirt 3 is more subdued and professional. I think the best way to describe the differences in themes and mood in each game is to actually look at the UI and menus. In Dirt 2, everything's very colorful, vibrant, and warm. The main menu takes place within an RV camper that you travel the world in, and the outside area, which contains a unique backdrop for each location in the game. In Dirt 3, the RV's traded in for a more cold and minimalist menu design, with literally almost everything being a fucking triangle, so it really does come down to personal preference. Dirt 3's career mode is only slightly more tedious than Dirt 2's, as it does start to become a bit of a slog in the later stages with little change up, yet the gameplay formula was enough to keep it fun. Like Dirt 2, the car selection is unique and diverse, yet instead of paying for cars now, you're just handed the keys as you level up. Dirt 3 and Dirt 2 are both contenders for best in the franchise, and it really comes down to personal opinion of which you think is better. Unfortunately, after Dirt 3, the series would begin its descent to mediocrity, beginning with this. Listen, Dirt Showdown is one of those games that just kinda happened, and everyone knows it happened, but no one really wants to talk about it. The strange thing is, though, Dirt Showdown isn't really that bad. Yes, I know it's basically not even a dirt game at all and is more of a flat-out game, but I still had a surprising amount of fun with it. Dirt Showdown, which is incredibly dated to the year it came out, 2012, is not a dirt game. Actually, it has zero rally whatsoever. Instead, the game focuses on demolition derby style racing and vehicles. The handling model is an incredibly simplified and arcadey version of Dirt 3's handling model. I mean, here's me doing a donut, just holding down the right trigger and nothing else. Along with this is the addition of nitrous, which suits the style of gameplay well. Now, I have a bone to pick with whoever designed the events and modes in this game. Look, the racing modes and hoonigan modes are fine. But who had the bright idea to let you respawn and rampage and fall off the platform and knock out with no penalty? The main draw of a demo derby is to try to destroy your competitor's car without destroying yours. So why the fuck would you not penalize the player for destroying their car or falling off the platform in a game where you need to stay on the platform? A demolition derby is about last man standing, not points total. And the thing that makes this even worse was that they got this right in the hard target mode, where you can't respawn. Holy shit! At least the game looks good. The lighting is incredible and the sound design is amazing as always. The thing is with Dirt Showdown, while you can't digitally download any of the old Dirt games, you can at least find a physical copy pretty easily. But oh my shit, it was impossible to find a physical Xbox 360 copy of Dirt Showdown. It was so bad that I may or may not have had to use a key resale website to get a copy. Alas, Dirt Showdown isn't bad. It's definitely not great, but it's not the worst the series has yet to see. That's to come later. In the meantime, though, I know I said I was only going to talk about the mainline entries in the Dirt franchise, but the Rally entries are actually really important to the series, as they're basically keeping Dirt out of the forever box right now. And I also talked about Showdown, so I'm just going to combine Dirt Rally 1 and 2 into one section and quickly go through them. Dirt Rally was the follow-up to Dirt Showdown 3 years later, and while Showdown was on the super arcadey side, Rally was on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. Dirt Rally 1 and 2 place a main focus on stage rally and rallycross, depicting such events and their driving styles as realistically as possible. Listen, I fucking love the Dirt Rally games. They basically rule over the rally section of sim racing, and due to their success, they would forever change the trajectory of the Dirt franchise, which can be seen in the follow-up to Dirt Rally 1, Dirt 4. To make a long story short, Dirt 4 is basically just Dirt Rally. See, when you open the game, you're asked to pick between two handling styles, Gamer and Simulation. Gamer is kinda like Dirt 3, but a little bit harder, as it's based on the Dirt Rally physics model, while Simulation is just straight up just Dirt Rally. You could definitely tell the game tried to appeal to the audiences of both the original Dirt games and the incredibly successful Dirt Rally, as I would consider this the most difficult Dirt game in the mainline series. This being because it's built on the Dirt Rally handling and physics engine, with some optional assists thrown in there for the more casual audience, as well as its lack of the flashback system. None of this is to say the game is bad. Actually, it's surprisingly fun. It feels fresh and the gameplay loop isn't tedious due to the procedurally generated stages, a feature which really needs to make a comeback. Along with that, you now have your own team, staff, and garage to manage, which adds an extra layer of depth to the game. The menus feel great to navigate through, and the game looks absolutely amazing. Dirt 4 is kinda like Dirt 3 in a lot of ways, still has hints of arcadiness to it, but it's moving in a more simulation-like direction, and instead of having a super vibrant atmosphere, it feels more professional. Dirt 4 honestly is basically the sleeper of the franchise. It's a game that doesn't get enough love and recognition, and I feel it really deserves more. Unlike the most recent entry in the Dirt franchise.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I've alluded to it a lot in this video, but if you haven't picked up on it yet, I'm really not a big fan of Dirt 5. This game blows, and it sucks because this game could have been so good, but it's kinda shit and just disappointing. Codemasters were coming off the high of Dirt Rally 2 and Dirt 4, and they somehow managed to promise so much yet deliver so little. Kinda like their new parent company. Okay, let's start with the good. What did Dirt 5 get right? Well, the atmosphere of the game is nice, bright, and warm, very reminiscent of Dirt 2. The car selection is varied and unique, track design is great, menus feel nice to navigate through, and the UI is some of the best in the series. And once again, it looks amazing. Now sit down and get ready, because I'm about to talk about everything wrong with this game, because oh boy, there is a lot. The biggest issue is the handling model. What the fuck? This combined with the game's terrible camera literally made me nauseous at certain points. For some vehicles it feels alright, and for some it physically hurts. Generally it feels very floaty and vague, cars feel very unpredictable at times. Yes, I know it's off-road racing, but as a dirt veteran it just feels off to me. And if you like it, then more power to you. Along with that, a feature that really should have made a comeback in this entry, flashbacks, completely absent. Also, speaking of things completely absent, where the fuck is Stage Rally? This is the first mainline dirt game to not include fucking Stage Rally, the discipline of racing the franchise was built upon in the first place. Dirt 2 managed to fit Stage Rally into its theming, atmosphere, and design, so why couldn't Dirt 5? Jumping away from the racing aspect for a minute, the livery designer is garbage. It is so incredibly limiting and shallow. Yes, Dirt 5's kinda sucked, but this is downright terrible. The quote-unquote story of the game is so boring, I've completely forgotten about it already. Like I said, this game has so much promising potential behind it. Amazing cars, tracks, and atmosphere, yet it's squandered by a finicky handling model, poor layout, and boring career. Dirt 5 had everything going for it as the first next-gen racing game, and it kinda fell flat on its face. Today, the Dirt franchise, and Codemasters as a whole, is under ownership of Electronic Arts, so that basically says it's all downhill from here. Dirt Rally 2 is carrying the corpse of the mainline Dirt series, and Codemasters is really only known for the Formula 1 series of games. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll see a Dirt 6 anytime soon, and if we do, it'll probably just be a repeat of Dirt 5, which it was basically dead on launch. The Dirt franchise just kind of suffered the fates of faulty promises and lack of focus with the later titles. Dirt 4, a fantastic game, tried to market itself to two completely different audiences and fell on deaf ears. Dirt 5 promised a return to the glory days of Dirt 2 and 3 and failed miserably. I don't know where the Dirt franchise will go from here, but what I do know is we still have the old Dirt games to go back to for solace. As long as you have a physical copy or key, Codemasters, please relist Dirt 2 and 3. Those games are beloved by so many people and there's such a huge market for it right now. Please relist them.
I found my religion in a pound of grass, and my life ain't a bitchin' beneath the tides. Well, it ain't that good, and you don't know me while we ride together now. Here to make you sing, we don't wanna turn the music down. While we ride together now, here to make you sing, we don't wanna turn the music down. While we ride together now, here to make you sing, we don't wanna turn the music down. While we ride together now, here to make you sing, we don't wanna turn the music down. I had a kitchen, oh yeah, what a surprise. Overcooked the chicken, and now it's a bar.